Hello, everybody. This is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here to bring you the weekly twin flame message for the week of February 24 to March 1st. Wow, it seems like February just flew by. Anyway, nothing so much for the collective that comes to mind at this time. A lot of things happened in the week, but oh yeah, there was Mercury retrograde, but I think by this time you've all got a handle on that. Things from the past coming back, trying to electronics on the fritz, and because you are aware of things that happen usually during Mercury retrograde, then you take the necessary precautions and steps, and so that it's more manageable, because it's something that you can't really avoid. Anyway, let's get on with the reading. I don't know why Spirit asked me to use these cards, especially the cards in the middle. I apologize. You can see that because this one flew out from my deck, a long time ago, and my dog kind of chewed on it. But the thing is, it's not so easy to get this deck. It's not available here in my country. And the last time that I was in the States, I totally forgot about it. So, pardon that. What I do is that so that I don't feel it like Braille, is that I pick it out blindly so I don't have any bias that's that card. Okay, so, and anyway, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun card, and that bodes well for both twins, because I think this is an improvement from last week. Because last week, in your personal lives, it was sort of like a whirlwind, where one thing was dropping on you, something that you needed to handle right away, and even if it's the output of that is still several months away, it's like you had to get on it. It's like on your to-do list, on your task list, and it's like more long-term. It's not just little annoyances. These are big things that have to be taken care of, because if you don't process them, or if you don't react to them in the right way, well, right is very subjective, but I mean very consciously, then it will spell out a totally different outcome. But anyway, there is an improvement for those situations this week. Several things will come to light. Information, okay, about a situation wherein there is a parting or a letting go. This could be your job. This could be your pulling away from the people that are you find yourself closest to. Okay, and it could be also a relationship that really doesn't satisfy you anymore, and you have no choice. Well, you have a choice and you exercised it, that there needs to be a parting. Okay, at least for now. And there we have the Five of Cups. And this is the resulting feelings of twin flames when about this situation that I'm talking about. Okay, wherein there's the feeling of, it's such a wasted opportunity. Okay, this could manifest in you feeling as though you didn't get the most out of the situation, or it's a feeling of there's a term in the vernacular in my language. It's called sayang. Okay, when you say sayang, it's such a waste. But emotionally, it's not on the same level as it's such a waste, because it's such a waste seems so casual. But it does recover all the lost opportunities, the things that you missed, that you could have done when there was still time to do them, time to enjoy them, time to make the most out of the situation. Okay, but like I said, because we have the Sun card, there is hope. Uh, Not necessarily for reconciliation, but for compromise. See, we have the two trees there. So this situation, even if it's very somber and very, um, it's sad. It's like you by the windowsill watching the rain outside and just playing your favorite sentimental or emo song. It's that kind of energy. Okay, but there is a compromise here, that although that there is a parting, like these two trees, you know what they say about two trees? It's often used in wedding vows that you grow apart. The trees need space to grow apart, and yet to sustain each other in such a way that they support each other. Okay, because if you plant trees too close, then they will not be able to grow to their full potential. Okay, so this is the message here. There will be some kind of compromise regarding that situation, even if there will be a parting. And there, because there is a meeting of the minds again here, and a meeting hopefully of hearts, then the love will continue to flow, the emotions will continue to flow, and it's not stunted anymore. It's giving each other this space to process all these feelings regarding that situation. Okay, that light will be shed on. Okay, so these are very important because it doesn't the cards at the bottom of the deck, they're not specific to the divine feminine or the divine masculine. So whoever finds themselves in that situation, well, there is something to look forward to this week, as embodied in the Sun card. Okay, so now let's go on to the divine masculine. The first card we have for him is the Devil. The next card we have is the Four of Swords. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. And then last we have the King of Swords. Okay, so what I'm getting here for the divine masculine is I sense that there is this big frustration. It's almost reaching resentment and anger, but it's mostly born out of frustration. You know how when things don't work out and somebody else gets frustrated because you lash out at them, and then you realize, and they get offended for being lashed out on out of the blue, despite not doing anything. But then you catch yourself, and then you say that sorry, it's not you, it's just really me, and there is just that need to vent out that frustration. And this is the frustration that the divine masculine is processing this week, and it's frustration at really having to pause in his plans. It's almost like taking a step back, because even if uh, even if it was go, go, go in his plans, and remember last week he couldn't really quite move. He was even apologizing for not being able to really execute any of his plans for himself, for manifesting how he envisions himself to be in the new earth. So now this is sort of different, because in his go, 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 perhaps once he has gained that momentum, to move forward, his I don't know how to say it. They're showing it to me in visuals, but it's like you've been stuck in a place for so long. Let's say it's like a stone that's wedged and it's downhill. Okay, and he wants to go, but there's a wedge there, so the stone can't roll downhill. But once that pebble or that rock is removed that was blocking its way, of course, with the help of gravity, plus the momentum and the kinetic energy that was been stored in the rock, okay, and I'm visualizing it as a round rock, um, it's almost unstoppable in its force. But the thing with unstoppable forces is that you tend to run over a whole lot of things you didn't mean to run over. And that's what happened in the case of the divine masculine. And because of that, catching himself, wait, this is too much force too soon. And I know I'm excited to do this and do that. But the way he's going about it, he kind of has to pause and take stock and recalibrate. Okay, so this is almost it's very painful for him, okay, to just pull back all of a sudden. Very frustrating, okay. So kind of like no, never mind. But it's very frustrating for him to pull back, and but he has to. So this is really frustration, because in the meantime, some nurturing has to be done. Okay, because this is either self-imposed rest or enforced rest. Okay, this is a sort of a pause, hitting the pause button because of that momentum, or he couldn't. This frustration there, and some nurturing still has to be done. Okay, and this relates to his physical self. So I don't know if this may relate to the health. I certainly hope that the divine masculines don't have coronaviruses. So, but this is a nurturing that has to be done in this enforced respite, because perhaps all this frustration, whether or not it's a result of him not moving at all or him moving too much because of the sudden momentum, because it has been held back. It's almost like it's calcified. That has to be taken care of, because this could manifest in your 3D bodies, okay, physically. And that's why there is this rest and this need to nurture, okay. And here, because of this the last card we have here for the divine masculine is the King of Swords. And while the King of Swords indicates truth, right? And a sort of just, fair, very reasonable, and that's kind of the source of his frustration, wherein he wants to do this, but then again, he knows better. So, hence, both these cards, right? Because he's going to, it's like if he wants to preserve his gains, then he needs to hit pause and, get his bearings first before proceeding forward. A less mature person, less mature than the King of Swords, would just go barreling forward, regardless of the consequences, regardless of whose toes he steps on along the way. And so this is the knowing better than to just aggressively trying to force what he wants to happen. Okay, and this also has to do, so there, let's see, this card in the middle. Okay, here, Yeah, I wondered why I was asked to pick oracle cards. So here, so this situation, this frustration really has to do, you see the King of Swords here, really has to do, at least this week, with the sense of worth of the divine masculine. See, it is a one card, which means that something that he wants to begin really wasn't gaining traction, or was gaining traction, but then again, that momentum had to be stopped. And this has something to do with his self worth. And even though, look at this, he is going to be given grace, okay? And for some divine masculines, wherein this situation is manifesting as a physical situation, then this is also, they tell me, grace period for him to get his bearings, to recalibrate. Okay, so that is a grace period. You can see there in for other divine masculines, this is just an infusion of grace by the divine, basically assuring him that he is indeed worthy of this new beginning. Because for the divine masculine, this card speaks to, look at this, almost like shame, okay, not being so unsure of himself. And that also is what a spirit prompted me when I got this card, because this is Excalibur. And not everybody gets to pull out Excalibur from the stone, okay? One has to be worthy, and the worthiness of that person, if we go by the myth of Excalibur, has to be in it, okay? Not in it, innate, okay? Innate. It has to be the worth of the person who could extract Excalibur from the stone has to be in it, okay? And so that's what the divine masculines are challenged with. And so, and if you do not know your self-worth, especially when you're embarking on a journey, on something new, it's very, very difficult because you don't have a sure step. Okay, it's like every step that you make is tentative because you always go back to, am I doing this right? Am I worthy enough to get the goal, whatever goal that is? So that's what the divine masculines are challenged with at this time. Now, before I go to the divine feminine, I don't want my audio, my video to be cut. I'm gonna change battery, so hold on. Okay, we're back with the divine feminine. Okay, let's open all the cards for her. We have here the Five of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Moon card. Okay, so for the divine feminines, at least during the coming week, she starts off by with this, the Five of Wands, and it looks like she's embroiled in some kind of conflict, or this situation wherein other people's interests are competing. So whether that's in the house, in the home, or in your workplace. This is something that you're involved in, and yet other people have different interests to put forward. So it's very hard to come to a consensus because it seems as though there are everybody wants their way to be had. Okay, and so that's how that starts out. But then again, because of the Sun card here, remember, it speaks to compromise, and you have the Sun card, and it's not my way or the highway, but well, that that would certainly be the mindset of other people in this situation. It's like my way or the highway. But then again, because there is the Sun card there and the card of compromise, you see here the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles in this particular deck and in this particular spread, it's talking about almost like mediation and conciliation, facing each other and, not being underhanded. It's like all cards on the table. No underhanded moves. You can see here because the roots of trees really go down in the ground and they interact with each other. And it's not above board, so to speak. But this meaning, let's call it, or for mediation or conciliation, some call it like a conference. This will enable all parties who of competing interests in a situation to lay down their cards, and just try to reach a point of compromise. Okay, and that is the desire of the divine feminine. Okay, because she doesn't really like this. You can almost smell it off of this card, that the scheming, the underhandedness, the not being open and honest about things because there's a certain agenda that you have. Okay, it's like for some reason, oh yeah, I was watching Hunters. It's the new series from Amazon, and I thought that Lena Olin, because she was starring in it, was I knew she was in 300. Okay, and she was the queen. So that got me thinking about queens, and so that had me ending up Googling Cersei Lannister, Lena Headey. Yeah, because I kind of mix the two in my head. Lena Olin and Lena Headey. So there. And then I realized that she's not really blonde. And there, because all this time, just, and her personality, or her persona at least, off camera, not in, when she's not in character, is very, very different from Queen Cersei. Okay, so that's just off topic. And so, people will surprise you. Sometimes they come off as this type of person, this persona, but there is really different facets to them that we have to discover. But anyway, I mentioned her because of the scheming and the manipulation that I see in this card. That is the energy being given off of this card in that situation. And because the divine feminine, who is somehow embroiled in this situation, is, very much a champion of integrity and truth. Okay, we don't like to lie. And, if you are a twin flame, or a light worker, it's almost second nature for you to tell the truth. And the thing is, this happens because your understanding is much more deeper. Your compassion, you're being open-minded, because whatever truth it is, if you are a twin flame, if you are a light worker, it can be embraced. Okay? That doesn't mean that the actions of any person, okay, especially if it impacts others negatively, should be condoned. No, what I'm just saying is because of the depth of your comprehension, your compassion, your love, you can embrace the truth and accept the truth of the person, because that is his or her truth. Okay? And so, because we're coming from this very infrequently, very rarely, do you need to lie? At most, the most kindness that you can give in polite society is to really not answer the question. If it will cause embarrassment to someone else or paint someone else in a different light, well, at least that's how I deal with that. It's like, if you don't want to know the answer, don't ask the question, because it might hurt. The answer might hurt. Okay, so anyway, that is what the divine feminine wants. This peaceful conference, this peaceful conciliation with the others, with those involved here. And if only she could, and if she had the opportunity, she would actually direct for this to happen. But because not everyone who are involved in this situation are as evolved as the divine feminine, that's why this situation is still represented by the moon card, which means that, it is still sort of in the shadows, so to speak. It's not yet clear. There's still some confusion, especially as regards the other people. So her desire for there to be this situation to come up, it has yet to manifest. But there's good tidings. The cards here are very auspicious as regards this actually happening, because here, while there is regret, sorrow, regret here, lost opportunities at this parting, there is, like I said, great hope that this situation will be reached and love will flow again, without each one trying to enforce his will over the will of others. Okay, so now let's get on to the magical card. I don't know if you've seen this. Look at this. Yeah, I forget which one of my pups did this, but he was fast. I didn't know that the card flew off. And but anyway, let's look at this. Okay, see, we have the journey card here. This indicates moving forward, moving past this situational conflict, and really, it's like a freeway. It's like I don't know if you've read, what's that, Life, the Universe, and Everything by Douglas Adams. They were making I think it's called a bypass. It's something like that, because here she wants to rise above all the traffic, because everybody has to get to the next stage of their journey, what their roles are, especially in this new earth, and we're manifesting that. And this parting could be a blessing for the divine feminine to actually be able to do what she wants to do. But then again, there are people who are making that difficult for her, and that's why she is really wanting to rise above all this chaos, okay, and move forward. And you can see here that the way that she's dressed, it's very modern. It's like steampunk, yeah, but it's modern steampunk, because you don't ordinarily find this. Yeah, it looks like the modern version of an airlines, but with the speed. But then again, with the speed of an airborne vessel, but then again, you can see the tree here rising from this vessel, meaning that even if you are operating at the speed, let's say speed of light, right, at a much faster speed than your contemporaries, because by nature of you being a multidimensional citizen, you're living in the third dimension, simultaneously living in the fifth dimension, your multidimensional avatar, you are still grounded. Look at this, okay? The tree there in the vessel here. So even while going there, that's why she wants a situation resolved so she can go about what she is meant to be doing, especially in the new earth. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a card in the middle to link both a divine masculine and the divine feminine. Okay, look at this. This is the Ten of Swords, and that indicates that this conflict, look at this, the mirroring of both twins. He starts off with the Devil card, much frustration. She starts out embroiled in conflict, tension brought on by others that are involved in the situation, and this results in the Ten of Swords. Very painful for the both of them, and this is true because personally speaking, this sort of situation is also unfolding for me, and this is the situation, the feeling that really needs to be transmuted. Okay, and I trust that most twins, if they don't know how to transmute it by themselves, will get the assistance that they need so that they can raise their vibrations and rise above these two situations by both twins that are being mirrored. So here, self-worth on the part of the divine masculine. Here, her continued destiny, it's almost at stake. Okay, so very fundamental issues for both twins, at least this week. And the consolation that we have there is that, oh no, I cut the cards, is the Sun card. Okay, so that's what I have for you. And again, the love specials are still up. Do check them out. You have the rapid romance reading, the fill your world with love Reiki, and the general love reading. Okay, when I have time, I will, kind of do it here. I don't know how or who I'm going to channel, because there's I need to channel someone's energy, so to have for the reading to have focus. But anyway, a lot of message coming in this week, especially for both the divine masculine and divine feminine, and I sincerely hope that this reading helped. Okay, so if you'd like to get a personal reading or healing, do visit my website at yalalchemy.com. Thank you for those who watched my IG video. I'm on Instagram, and I just discovered IGTV last week, and so you can check out my feeble attempt at a title card. It was a failed attempt, but at least I know now the dimensions. So I'll try it again this week. Okay, so there. Thanks everyone, and I hope you get a handle on the coming week ahead. Take care. Bye.